Hello and welcome to On Everything with Little Mama. Today I'm going to show you how to make a curbside eyesore into a living room centerpiece. Now, before you take your neighbor's funky old couch or chair or table into your house, there are a few things you need to check. Smells, excessive animal hair, mold, irreparable structural damage. These are all a no-go. If your piece passes this test, then it's an okay to bring it into your house for a little refurbishment. The first thing you're going to want to do is assess the state of the fabric, if there's any fabric involved. Make sure that there are no giant holes that need mending, and you definitely want to remove the interior of any cushions, wash the exterior, and perhaps replace the inside. That's what we're doing today. I found this really great chair on the side of the road. My neighbors didn't have room for it in their house anymore. And the only thing it needed was a couple screws to bring up the base back to where it was. And now it's in great condition. The frame is good. The cushions need to be replaced. So I took those out, hand washed the outside slip covers, and got them ready to go. Before throwing out the old cushion, I measured their height, width, and depth. I also saved the foam lining, also called batting, which wraps around the foam. It's a little old, but it still has some life in it. The orange you see is from the old foam that was crumbling away. We need a ruler. We need a marker. We need a tape measure. Next, we need to measure clear lines along the height and width of the cushion. To cut, I used a bread knife. It's allowing me to saw through this 3-inch foam like butter. It worked really well. I'm using one hand to hold the foam at the top and one hand to make this sawing motion, creating a little tension so that the knife cuts as straight as possible. With the second smaller cushion, you'll see 2 lines there. That's where I corrected my measurement. You always want to measure twice and cut once. This roll of foam was about $40 on Amazon. Not cheap, so you really want to be accurate in your measurements before you start cutting. To wrap the foam in the batting, I did my best to line up the edges with the previous markings. Making sure there's no folds or lumps, I then inserted the foam starting with the folded edge. I really had to compress the foam to get it into the casing, focusing on getting the corners in first and smoothing out any lumps or folds that form along the way. Next is the larger cushion. This one took a lot longer to fit into the case. Because it is new foam, it has a lot more volume than the old foam, which makes it quite a challenge to get it in there. Now, unfortunately, the tension that I put on the old fabric and the tension of the new foam on the old fabric broke the zipper. Replacing the zipper is not an option for me at this point, so I am stitching the zipper shut. Here I'm using a simple ladder stitch along the cloth side of the zipper. I double threaded my needle with a heavy-duty button thread, and I'm using a thimble to push the needle through. If you end up stitching your cushions shut, be sure to hold the fabric together with your opposite hand and pull the thread tight so that the teeth of the zipper fold inward. And there you have it. It's practically a new chair.